Hi, Rama. It's week 26, day 5 of our Bible narrative reading plan. Today we're in 2 Chronicles 19 and 20. We saw yesterday the death of King Ahab, and we see Jehoshaphat is on the throne. He's ruling in the southern kingdom, in the tribe of Judah. And we recognize that he is a mixed bag. He has ruled in some ways that are good. He seems to have the blessings of the Lord, as 2 Chronicles 18 indicated at the beginning when it said that Jehoshaphat had great riches and honor. But now we see that he's made this unholy alliance with Ahab, but Ahab is dead. And verse 1 of chapter 19 tells us that Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, returns in safety to his house in Jerusalem. But now Jehu, the son of Hanani, the seer or prophet, he goes up and he talks to King Jehoshaphat. Now Jehu is one that we've seen during the reign of Baasha. If you remember that name back in a few readings ago, as we're going through these different kings, Baasha was an evil king, and Jehu spoke the word of the Lord to Baasha. And now Jehu is coming and he's speaking the word of the Lord to Jehoshaphat. And it helps us understand really what's going on with Jehoshaphat, because Jehu says to him, should you help the wicked and love those who hate the Lord? He's saying, look, you've gone up and you've had this covenant, this agreement, this treaty with Ahab and with the northern kingdom. They are wicked. And by your political agreement, alignment, in that sense, you love them. Not an emotional love, but he's supporting them. He is enabling their rebellion against God. And so because of this, Jehu says, wrath has gone out from you, against you from the Lord. Nevertheless, he says, some good is found in you, for you have destroyed the Asheroth out of the land and have set your heart to seek God. He's done some good things, and he's done some very bad things. And so we keep reading to see what happens next. We move at a little quicker pace. We see that Jehoshaphat has done some righteous things. He's appointed some of the right people. These are all good things. But then war begins to break out. Chapter 20 tells us that the Moabites, the Ammonites, with some of them, the Maonites, these people are coming against Jehoshaphat for battle. He's scared, as you can imagine. Some men come and tell him about it. And so what does he say? Verse 3, Jehoshaphat was afraid. He sets his face to seek the Lord and proclaims a fast throughout all of Judah. And Judah assembles to seek help from the Lord. All the cities of Judah that they came to seek the Lord. And so Jehoshaphat, he gathers the people, he prays. You can read his prayer there. You can hear his reliance on the Lord. He ends verse 12, for we are powerless against this great horde that is coming against us. We do not know what to do, but our eyes are on you. You see in verse 13 that all of Israel, even down to the children, the little ones, they're all gathering before the Lord. And God speaks. He says, do not be afraid and do not be dismayed at this great horde, for the battle is not yours, but God's. Just as God has fought their battles all the way back from the beginning, he's still fighting their battles for them, and he says he will do that this day. And so Jehoshaphat, verse 18, he bows his head before the Lord, his face to the ground, and they worship God. They thank God. They recognize that God is working even though they don't deserve it. God is faithful to them. And you can continue reading what happens next. But when you get down, verse 22, it tells us that these enemies that are coming up to destroy them, God works amongst them, and they begin fighting themselves. And they actually destroy themselves. And so verse 24, when Judah comes, they see all of this. They see that the battle's over because they've all defeated themselves. And so now Judah can go in and take the spoils of the battle. And so in a way that is just like God, but sometimes we scratch our heads, God is blessing them. They don't deserve it. They haven't necessarily been faithful every step along the way, but they've sought the Lord. And Jehoshaphat, their ruler, is seeking the Lord even though he has made terrible mistakes as well. And so God blesses them. He fights the battle for them. He gives them the victory. And what is verse 30? It kind of concludes the life of Jehoshaphat, saying, so the realm of Jehoshaphat was quiet, for his God gave him rest all around. A reminder that our rest, physical, political, in battle, all of it comes from the Lord. And so we get this summary at the end of verses 31, at the end of the chapter, and we get the end of his reign. But then we get this postscript, this little addition by the chronicler in verse 35 through 37 that remind us that even after God delivered them, Jehoshaphat again made an unholy alliance with another nation. And it's just a reminder for us, one, that all of these kings, failed. Even the good kings, and Jehoshaphat's a mixed bag in some ways. He kind of lands on the good side, if you want to think of it that way. He walked in the ways of his father Asa, doing what was right in the sight of the Lord. But yet, he wasn't perfect. None of these kings are perfect. None of our kings today, none of our rulers, none of our presidents, none of them are perfect. But these kings in the Bible, they're pointing us to the one true and perfect King, Jesus Christ. And so we can take comfort that even as we go through all these kings, perhaps part of the Bible that you don't spend as much time in, perhaps part that you don't enjoy reading as much, we can take comfort that they are reminding us and pointing us to the goodness and glory of Jesus Christ. Here's a summary of today's reading. For more information, go to tunemyheart.org.